Imagine starting at a later point in Chimps with more starting cash with what you would have at that given point in time cumulatively. So in this case, we're going to be trying a Striker Jones and Blooncineration scenario, where Striker Jones has a lot of synergy with the Mortar so that we can actually get through the scenario, including the ability for our explosives to be able to hit black balloons and zebra balloons. And since we are going with the fiery path of the Mortar Monkey, then there is only one skin which is valid for this particular scenario. Not too sure if Gwen Blooncineration would be possible, but yeah, it's going to be hard to hit those regrow zebras on round 61. But then again, that's where Gwen is for. What is Gwen for? I said that in the wrong order. Don't worry about me. We'll have an easier time on round 10 if we switch Jones to last, so that they're always hitting this particular point, be able to get these red balloons so they come along our way rather than trying to keep up with the frontmost balloons, sometimes being very annoying, and we are lacking on that PS potential there. So let's put down our Mortar over here right next to Jones, because at some point any tower by Jones will have a 25% pierce increase. The plus 5% range is redundant on a Mortar Monkey, by the way. It doesn't increase its blast radius by 5%. It just increases its dummy range by 5%. Increased accuracy, burny stuff, then signal flare, which is everyone's favorite tier 3 mortar, which they want me to do a 2 megapops with. I'm just going to give you some information. It's even worse than a 220 2 megapops potential. Because of that, you're forced to use the bottom cross path. Also, I heard that if you subscribe to Flare Balloons, you may be able to see a potential 2 megapops with base mortar, which is tier 2 or below upgrades on any given tower, which is the base, because you've not yet ventured out to a particular cross path to a point of no return when it comes to the other cross paths. Round 23. Obviously, if you buy one upgrade from a particular pathway, then it locks you out from being able to buy anything within another path if you've purchased a upgrade in either 2 of the 3 things going on here. So that's why the community and the Bloons Tower Defense Index indicates that a base tower is tier 2 or below, not unupgraded. Although that's even more impressive, but never heard of an unupgraded 2 megapop scenario. Probably base star is probably the only one with like Plasma Monkey Fan Club and Super Monkey Fan Club shenanigans, sorry. Okay, lead balloons are something which we're very good at. Black balloons and zebra balloons we're okay against. Nothing problematic whatsoever, although we will find out later on that the bunny stuff does not apply to black balloons and zebra balloons, because we're only partially able to damage them, not fully. If we had an MIB up and running, then the bunny stuff would also apply to black balloons and zebra balloons. Loads of camo balloons, no problem. Signal flare removes your camo existence, and then your existence afterwards with the raw damage. At level 7, Striker Jones, or in this case Biker Bones, unlocks the ability which he didn't always have, by the way. I think it was only like update 39 or 40 where he got his level 7 ability, where for 15 seconds Mortar Monkeys touch target / cursor with increased accuracy. So wherever your cursor is, that's where the mortar is going to fire. It was in the same update when the base damage of the Mortar Monkey increased from 1 damage to 2 damage, which is pretty big if you analyze that. Ceramic balloons are always our favorite because they take many hits to try and take down, but with a 204 shattering shells before round 81, you could essentially one-shot an entire ceramic with 1 shattering shells shell with Balloon Buster. Speaking of shattering shells, it's going to be absolutely able to incinerate everything inside. Look, just look at that. Just ignore the fact that Biker Bones fired. It just incinerates the balloons. But again, doesn't work on black balloons or zebra balloons. You have to hit them first for them to be damaged, and then the second shell will be able to put them on fire. Uh-oh. I should have moved our shattering shells cursor to be able to do this particular round, because sometimes they escape the clutches of our shattering shell mortars, although for some odd reason in this case, despite there being absolutely no difference, I somehow managed to get through that round without any troubles. I hate inconsistency. Although one thing that could explain that scenario is that when you reload back into a game, your actually any towers' fire rate gets reset, so it's able to then fire out as soon as the round begins, rather than like in between the two different times when it fires out. So rather than taking the longest time possible, it then takes the shortest amount of time possible, which may have made the difference there. As long as the fortified balloon is a BFB or below, what shattering shells does is it just strips away the fortified property off of those fortified balloons, and they are essentially twice as easy to try and deal with, and also removes the regrow aspect and the camo aspect. Removes all the special properties of a balloon. No, that does not include the lead property, the ceramic property, the, I don't know, the cold immune property, etc. Is vengeance really yours? Because I think there's a different tower here that is doing the poppage here, biker bones. And yes, I used the biker bones emote, sorry, as my thumbnail, although there is no sun god involved here. God cannot reach this place of absolute hell, because at the moment it feels like we are in the center of the earth in the UK, as it's stupidly hot. In the UK, you don't know what weather it's going to be. You may as well go out with a raincoat and a pair of shorts to be prepared for any kind of scenario, because you may never know what's going to happen. There we go. Go away, pink balloons. At least you weren't yellow balloons, because I've heard that they are immune to the effects of shattering shells if they are not having the burning stuff element on them anyways. By the way, that's just a myth. There's some ways you don't want Jones to pop rainbow balloons into zebra balloons, because then we can't even apply the burning stuff aspect to the balloons themselves, because we can only damage them, not burn them. Round 59 is coming to a close here. Camo lead balloons, no problem whatsoever. Although for some 2TC runs, that could actually be the point. Oh. I don't know why I thought that was round 59. This is round 59. Yeah, sometimes this is the end point of certain combinations, because you have a tower that can pop lead balloons, you have a tower that can pop camo balloons, but you kind of need a scenario where you can pop both camos and lead using the same attack. Or at the very least try to remove the camo property. Or I don't know, have both in the form of shattering shells. Here we go, BFB going down please. Down please, there we go. And that's all of them incinerated or heavily damaged. There we go. Okay, round 61. This is a round in which I'm very worried about, because of all of these regrow zebra balloons being an absolute goddamn eyesore to try and deal with. Let's see now. Is there going to be some yellows which may escape? Oh, hello. This is... I'll tell you what, I was just doing a test game today to see if I could actually do this, and this, no joke, took me about 50 tries just because of the cycling and everything. So I was like, okay, let's try and get up to level 11 using 3,250 of what you saw there. Didn't always work out. For some odd reason, this is the first time where recording actually turns out better than actually doing it in your spare time, where it always feels like you're always doing things more successfully because you're not trying to talk and try and play the game at the same time here. Let's see, round 62. Good gumdrops. Okay, round 63. Try and avoid using your level 3 ability, just because you're actually going to do much better against all these ceramics if you can get them all burned up using shattering shells rather than degrading them down to black balloons. which then means that the burning stuff doesn't apply. I'm going to try and avoid saying that anymore in this video because I know I've said that multiple times now. Although they do say sometimes that repetition of a certain bit of information does make that information stick once you turn it out multiple times. So zebra balloons, rainbow balloons, soon ceramic balloons, and then a few Moabs and a few BFBs after that. Oh yes. Look at the evil in this Blooncination's eyes. Does it look like a face of something or somebody that gives you mercy? No, all it sees is the sun. I've heard that the Blooncineration cooks, but I'm no chef to decide on that. Hey Sushi Ben, is the Blooncineration a good cook? No? Burn stuff a lot? Alright, I can see why. Flare balloons, the muffler. Muffler of all things. Just be glad that Bloons Tower Defense 6 is a game that doesn't have friendly fire, otherwise, I don't think our friendly hero here is going to actually last very long in this heat. We do have to be wary of purple balloons, because purple balloons literally downgrade the Blooncineration into a shattering shells, where you can only really damage the balloons and also put them on fire, even though the fact that they start out as a purple, because you're giving them an explosive damage, and that is like the first part of the damage that happens with the shell itself. It's considered an explosive attack and not a fire attack, even though the burning stuff is fire damage. You see what I'm trying to get at here? Also, those regrow ceramics just did not stand a chance there. Round 78. This is a big round right here. Not for our combo here, thanks to the passive support of Biker Bones for our Blooncineration here, and the fact as well that the Blooncineration enables the decamification of balloons, so that then Jones can also hit those balloons as well, which would otherwise be well, Biker Bones can't see them, even with his one-eye binocular there. Round 79, just hit our wall of fire here, for goodness sakes. Just no chance whatsoever for these balloons. Just I love Blooncineration. It's probably I'm just gonna say this right now, when it comes to like 2 megapot scenarios, I think the bottom path is the most difficult to get there when it comes to like getting the upgrade itself. But when you get the upgrade itself, it's probably the easiest out of the 3 mortars to be able to do stuff with it. As long as you have an MIB with it, obviously, or level 19, Jones? Yeah, makes all black balloons vulnerable to explosive damage, which is a pretty neat trait to have, honestly. It means that no matter where you are, black balloons, zebra balloons, explosives will also be a means of your demise. Now, what are we going to do with the rest of our money here? Nah, we're just gonna let Jones level up naturally because, well, he'll able to get to level 20 before the 100 round comes up. Round 85, 2 ZMGs. I think vampires do also have this look that the Blooncineration has within its questionable looking eyes here, honestly. do you really have all of the... Actually, you do have all the tools. You've got these huge ass mittens on ya, monkey. I do have the question though, with the logistics of the Blooncineration. What kind of material is this mortar made out of to be able to withstand the sheer heat in which is thrown out of it, and then be able to cause this wall of fire to occur in the first place? Because when something is emitted outwards from the center of something, so let's say if a solar flare happens, that solar flare is far cooler than the actual central point of the object in which it is expelled out of. So let's say the center of the sun is millions of degrees hot. Well, it's got to take a high amount of heat in order to make the heat that turns out for the Blooncineration to fire out of in the first place. So my only conclusion of how the Blooncineration is so powerful is the fact that inside the Blooncination's mortar itself, There's a portal that's connected to the sun itself. I know, sacrilegious when it comes to sun temple terms and sun god terms, but that's the only conclusion I can draw, really. Or it could just be connected to the bottom of an active volcano, which is why it's like that. It's kind of shaped like a volcano as well with this design, honestly. It's really cool. Oh, I love the design of this artwork, by the way. I love the artwork in this game, honestly. I think there's just so much expression that comes out of it, like even like the little things. Like Biker Bones' hair is just fire, and this is also lit. Like both of these towers are lit. Get away, fly. I have a fly in front of me. That's another thing I hate about summer. The fact that there's always these little insects that love to make witch, and then you turn around, you have a big old spot on you that wasn't there 5 minutes ago, but then you do have one now. Just be glad I'm just glad I don't live in places like Australia where the insects are actually capable of killing you. Or South America, actually. That's another place where they have really lethal and want to avoid insects out there. Okay, round 95. I'm actually going to put the Blooncineration over here, actually, just so that the signal flare can reach a wider area of radius rather than putting it over here, and then possibly having a camera balloon or two be able to escape there. Okay, so... oh my goodness sakes, not a single DDT is leaving this square. The square of death. Of DDT death, although round 99 ones might be the square. Because they start out with the fortified property. Okay, let's distribute our shells out just a little bit, just so we can get that damage up and running. Although we do have to consider the pierce at some point, especially for like round 95. We can use the level 3 concussive shell in a way to control some of the traffic going on here. Let's use the concussive shell to stun some of them there. Oh my god, they almost escaped there. You see where the bazooka was firing? No good whatsoever. And also shattering shells doesn't work on, or even like Blooncination's fortified removal aspect doesn't work on ZMGs. They're too big. So you're going to have to whittle them down to BFBs before then you can strip the fortified property away. And now we're at level 20. Okay. So, we have two ways of trying to deal with this. Number one, we could try and deal with them all at once. Or number two, let's try and target them independently just so that we can actually get through the round while trying to deal with less pierce. But at the same time, it could be riskier because now we've got these ZMGs and... oh, I'm not confident with all that pierce that we need to try and get through. Although that does look pretty close. Oh yeah, concussive shells helped out massively there with the control of all of that pierce, and the DDTs have just gone down. That just leaves one more foe, and it's innards. The bird. Pain will be inflicted upon you, bad. You will feel the wrath of the volcano itself. Or as I said earlier, the sun itself is on our side, and you bad will not escape my wrath, for you will be the final melting point of our wrath, honestly. I'm gonna say the concussive shells when the DDTs are decamouflaged. And there we go, Stumbo's in place, excellent. Don't need to worry about those regrow ones because they'll be melted down just like that. Just keep using concussive shell, honestly. Oh, we can use level 10, but now it's level 20. Good. Oh, perhaps that was a bad idea. No, not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. We were left with a few blue balloons there. So that, everybody, is a hypothetical scenario where if you were able to place down Striker Jones or the Mortar in round 6, we could be witnessing the first legit 2-tower chimps with Striker Jones being one of your towers. If you think about it, this pairing makes a lot of sense, and they both synergize with each other very well. Jones obviously providing the mortar the means to be able to pop black balloons and zebra balloons quite early on, like when Jones is at level 4, 5. I've forgotten which one it was now. I think it's level 4, where Jones is able to enable all explosives to have a chance of being able to damage black balloons or zebra balloons. And then when it's level 19, it goes from a chance to guaranteed. And then Blooncineration, with the fact that, well, does the majority of the damage, and the fact it removes the camo property of the balloons, which means that Jones can also target those balloons as well. If Jones doesn't have any means of camo detection, that is. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been the 2 tower... That should have C in it, rather than a... That should be 2 TCC rather than 2 TTC. This is not 2 tower type chimps, this is 2 tower co-op chimps, as if it's a co-op experience. The only difference is we start around later and with more starting cash. Thank you all so much for watching, everyone. Let me know what you thought of this video down in the comment sections below. And would you like me to try do a Striker Jones 2 Mega Pops? I heard that is a incredibly fun scenario, which is most likely to pull your hair out just as much as, let's say, a I don't know, a Shell Shock or a Heavy. Actually, these are easier than Striker Jones, I'm not gonna lie, but just sticking with these 2, yeah, those 2 are probably like the quintessential of what it's like to be in hell with an explosive kind of tower. Although I think personally that it's easier than, let's say, a hypothetical base bomb tower scenario, which yeah, don't ask me to do base bomb, please. I heard that base mortar is probably easier, and even that is hell. Thank you all so much for watching, everyone. Please be sure whenever you're in the store of this game that you use my creator support code. That goes very, very far, and I thoroughly appreciate each and every single one of you that does so. Thank you all so much for watching, everyone, and take care of yourselves. Have a lovely day wherever you are with whatever it is that you are doing.